Good morning, students. This is Murthy, sir. Today we will learn a new topic, the reproduction in animals. Reproduction is one of the important physiological processes, and it is responsible for the continuity of life on this planet. Students, the life started millions of years back in the oceans. First living forms were cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Since then, it has taken so much diversity, and the life is continuing on this planet because of one vital physiological process called reproduction. Students, the examples that you see here, robin, penguin, spider, turtle, all these are egg-laying animals, oviparous animals. In nature, there are two types of animals basically, oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous animals, they are egg-laying. Students, the animals that you see here, they are all mammals. Mammals are highly evolved in the animal kingdom. And mammals are viviparous, means they give birth to young ones directly after completing gestation period. Students, gestation period is the time required for the baby to grow in mother's womb. In case of humans, it is 9 months period. Students, when you look at the living world, lower forms of plants and animals, they undergo asexual reproduction. When you come to higher level, highly evolved animals and plants, they reproduce sexually. So sexual reproduction is seen in higher animals and plants. Students, amoeba, a protozoan. It undergoes asexual reproduction through a process called binary fission. In binary fission, first the nucleus of amoeba splits into two, and finally cytoplasm also splits, resulting in the formation of two amoebae. Students, you can clearly observe here how binary fission takes place in amoeba. First, the nucleus is splitting into two, and later cytoplasm splits into two, and resulting in the formation of two new amoebae. Students, in case of hydra, asexual reproduction takes place through a process called budding. In budding, hydra develops a small bud. It's an outgrowth on its body, and this bud gradually develops tentacles. Tentacles are hair-like projections which are useful for movement and also to collect food material. And this bud gradually gets separated from the mother and it becomes a new hydra. Students, here one important point you have to know. Amoeba is a unicellular organism, but hydra is a multicellular organism. In the body of hydra, many cells are there. So hydra reproduces through budding. From the mother, a small outgrowth, a bud develops, and this bud in the course of time develops tentacles and gets separated from the mother. This is one type of asexual reproduction. Hydra is a... Students, now let us move on to sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Higher flowering plants, they are called angiosperms. These are highly evolved in plant kingdom. Students, in 7th standard, you learned about the structure of flower. In that, male parts and female parts will be there. Male parts are called stamens and female parts are called pistil or carpel. So in a bisexual flower, male parts and female parts together, they will be present. And this flower is responsible for pollination and fertilization, and fertilization leads to the formation of zygote. And finally, it results in the formation of fruit which bears seeds. Students, in nature, unisexual flowers are there, bisexual flowers are there. Hibiscus, China rose, it's a bisexual flower. Datura flower is a bisexual flower. So in them, both stamens and carpel or pistil are present. Students, male reproductive part stamens, they contain anther and filament. Anther has two lobes which contains many number of pollen grains, and these pollen grains possess male gametes. The female parts are carpel or pistil. This female part contains stigma, style, and ovary. Ovary contains ovules. After pollination and fertilization, ovules develop into seeds and the fleshy part of the ovary becomes fruit. Students, pollination is transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower. In case of self-pollination, the pollen grains will be transferred from anther to the stigma of the same flower. In case of cross-pollination, the pollen grains are transferred from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same species. It happens within hibiscus or within datura. It happens in the same species. Students, bisexual flowers, usually they undergo self-pollination. In case of unisexual flowers, they undergo cross-pollination. And pollination leads to fertilization. The male gametes present in pollen grains, they unite with the female gamete present in ovary to form zygote. Students, zygote further develops into embryo and embryo develops into sapling, young plant. So this embryo will be present in the seed. So seed bears the embryo. After germination or sprouting, the embryo develops into a sapling or young plant. Students, now we will move on to life cycle of frog. Frog is an amphibian. It lives sometime in water and sometime it comes onto the land to catch insects. For the sake of food, it comes onto the land. For laying eggs, it goes into water. Students, when we observe the life cycle of frog, 3 stages will be there. The first stage is egg. Egg develops into larva. The larval stage in frog is called tadpole. It almost looks like a fish and it's a herbivore. Students, this tadpole feeds on algae and small aquatic plants or hydrophytes present in water. It breathes with the help of gills. And in the course of time, it develops into adult frog. Then it gets forelimbs and hind limbs, and gills will disappear, and in place of gills, lungs will develop. And this gradual development from egg stage, developing into larva, tadpole, and finally developing into adult frog. This gradual development is called metamorphosis. And for this, hormone influence will be there. Hormones are chemicals which are present in the bodies of plants and animals, which are responsible for growth. Students, in frog, external fertilization will happen. Means the union of sperms and ova, it occurs in water, not inside the female body. In case of higher animals, fertilization happens in the female body. In case of fishes, frogs, external fertilization happens. It happens in water. Students, frog is a cold-blooded animal. Fishes, amphibians, and reptiles, they are cold-blooded animals. In biology, we call poikilothermic animals. Their body temperature varies or changes with the atmospheric temperature. According to the climatic conditions, their body temperature changes to adjust to the climatic conditions. So they are called cold-blooded animals. But in case of birds and mammals, which are highly developed, the constant body temperature will be seen. Students, you can observe here fish-like body of tadpole. It is a herbivore and gradually develops into adult frog. Adult frog is a carnivore. It feeds on insects. When it comes onto the land, adult frog breathes with the help of moist skin and lungs, and this adult frog has a long sticky tongue to catch the insects. It is a carnivore. But in case of tadpole, it is a herbivore. It feeds on algae and small hydrophytes which are present in water. Students, one interesting feature in frogs is in winter time they undergo hibernation, and in summer time they undergo aestivation. Aestivation is summer sleep. When high temperatures are there during summer time, they undergo temporary resting condition, that is called aestivation. And in winter time, when extreme low temperature, when chill conditions are there, it undergoes hibernation. So it protects itself through hibernation and aestivation in winter and summer time respectively. Students, when we observe the characteristics of amphibians, they perform cutaneous respiration. 70% oxygen they get through moist skin. Frog, it is able to breathe with the help of moist skin. So in amphibians, always skin will remain in moist condition. It will not dry up. So this breathing with the help of moist skin is called cutaneous respiration. And lungs are also useful for breathing. In case of tadpole, gills.